Hey there, Pisces community. Soul Tigers here with a story for this wonderful community. As usual, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's a vibe. And there's a very snail pace that you feel like things are happening at for the Pisces in this story. But things are going to become very apparent, black and white. Then there was two. One person's loss, and this is I quote, one person's loss is another person's gain. Now, what's happening right now is Pisces are very sensitive to energy because they are that sign who is completely immersed in water, in the nectar of life, in a sense. So, when you have different things, celestial things, universal things, shifts, big shifts in energies, this community can feel it on a whole nother level. And depending on what's hitting, it could almost make them feel like they're going in and out of a dream state. And I feel like this is what's really, really making everything feel like it's so slow moving right now for the Pisces in this story. Grounding out. And again, all this is doing is a sensory overload. So grounding out so you don't have that sensory overload, which what's going to happen is there's going to lead to a big like you put enough Mentos in the Coca-Cola and you keep shaking it, and that top is eventually going to pop. For the Pisces in this story, their third eye is blocked. It could be that they're feeling a lot of frontal lobe headache. Heavy Dharma energy here, meaning heavy universal law. Remember 12th house and ending of old cycles, preparing for new. Pisces, this is probably what you're going through right now. We're in a cardinal energy, a beginning, but in order to have a new beginning, you have to have an ending. And right now, between the new moon in Libra, full moon in Aries, those are two cardinal signs right there. And then we have the second moon. So the veil's being pulled back on a lot of things, and the universe is orchestrating all this to happen. But going against your intuition, going against what you're being guided for, what is your purpose, is what's keeping these blocks around. So this is why that energy, the Dharma, the universal law, is feeling so heavy right now. All right, let's see. Uh, also, Also, this energy is being increased by the comet. There's a comet that's coming around. It comes around, I think it's a yearly thing. I don't think it's one of those ones that's every decade or something like that, century. But this is also playing into the waves. We just had solar waves coming in not too long ago. So second moon, solar waves. We have the Lion's Gate that was going on, solar eclipse, uh, second moon, new moon. There's something else, comet. There's something else that I'm missing. Solar waves. We had the eclipse, but since the August timing, the Lionsgate. We've just had a lot happening, and this could be again why it's feeling so much like a snail's pace here. Water. It's very important for the Pisces in this story to intake more water and cleanse. Lots of cleansing for all the celestial energy that's coming through. Because right now, what it's going to provide is this power up for this ending of old cycles, but being able to power up and get ready for this new cycle, or it's going to go the other way to where you're starting to feel drained. When we do power ups, we enhance our shields. And a power up is simply how you're taking care of yourself, how you're going with the flow. You Pisces, you live in water. Being adaptable like water is really going to help right now. Being open to exploring different areas of this water, of this celestial energy. Because remember, y'all are gifted. That's why I put power up. Right now, the gloom is not a time to fret. The gloom right now is a time to restore, take back. And what I mean is take yourself back, take care of yourself, start to do things for yourself independently. And that I did not even feel till just now. And that's having to do with this divine timing. It's all about creating a certain sense, maybe, of independence here. Not too sure. Like I said, it's just the vibe that I'm catching for this Piscean energy. So let's go ahead and take a dive in. I got the Queen Moon Ology Oracle to start off with because I feel like this is just such a great vibe of an oracle deck for the Piscean energy. So what is it that needs to come out? Oh, and I did pull a third oracle deck. White light wants to confirm some information for you. So what is it, ancestors, angels, spirit guides, divine and universal energy that needs to come out? So directly there is some confusion on a new creation to come about of something. But I see the confusion as you're almost there. It's just one more getting around the bend on something that's going to help open something. Oop, sorry. And we have two things that Pisces doesn't directly see. This is both above and below this creation. This has to do with the extremes and not feeling protected. Somehow you feel like you've been put in the fire, so to say, in a hot spot. In a hot spot. Maybe there's some health stuff going on. Making what I had heard from somebody that was giving out kind of like camping information is if you want to keep warm when you're going camping in the cold, to eat something before you go to sleep so your metabolism is active and that will produce more heat. So maybe if you're facing heat at night, don't eat too late before you go to bed. If not, could be balancing out something for yourself. But we're going to get a more clearer view because that's in the upright, and then we have this protection that came in the reverse. I get a big sense that this has to do with somebody else. Maybe you felt like somebody else was supposed to be protective. They were supposed to protect something. Something that maybe you were trying to create. Because I do have this creation energy, almost like the guide in the background, and maybe the energy around it that's looking at this protection. But whatever this extreme is, this is what you're leaning more into, whatever this is. What else needs to come out for the introduction? Whoa. This protection could weigh at some kind of insecurity. Because I have beauty here and upright. For some reason, these extremes seem to, how do I put that? Seem to get above the peaceful times right now. The peaceful, beautiful times. And something we don't see is fruitation. And this one also comes out in reverse. So there's a Pisces that feels like everything that they have worked for, it could be lost in an instant. In a sense. In a sense, the reason why I say in an instance, because this protection, if you are depending on somebody's help to protect you, to get you from one point to another, and then all of a sudden they flip the way that they're flying, you have no control of that. And you see how unprotected this person would be, vulnerable to falling out. Anything in here could be lost. And that could happen in such an instance that is out of this Pisces control. It's very interesting how beauty and peace pop up, though. Beauty, peace, creation, extremes are all in the upright. This is why it's divinely timed. On one side, you're feeling like you're not having anything, any progress with what you're doing. But the sense is you're not seeing that things are going to come to bloom in a different way. It's not going to be the direct fruit that you think in mind. It's going to be something totally different in a different area, in a different setting kind of thing. Ooh, this is very interesting so far. So what is it about this story? What is it about the present that needs to come out for the Pisces energy? What is it that needs to come out for the present? Could have to do with the Emperor. This could have to do with you being the emperor of your kingdom. I have a Four of Swords in reverse. There's movement. Somebody needs to make movement. Movement of getting from being stuck. Stuck in unfair situations. Unfair situations with the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is harmony. Everyone being able to have an equal share. Everyone coming in equally. Everything's equal here. But when it's in reverse, something's not equal. What else needs to come out for the present? We're having more cups. Cups are being dumped out. We have a Seven of Cups in reverse. This is a whirlwind of dumping, in a sense. It's like watching things fall apart, watching everything that you worked hard for, watching all the outcomes you had attached to specific things, and divine timing saying, nope, 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 this is not the way it's going to go anymore. I have the Seven of Swords here. In order to put down the conflict, stuff got to be done differently. What we don't see is this Death card in reverse. This is a transformation. You might want to watch Capricorn. Capricorn had, was it, 3 death cards come out? So theirs was talking about it's a direct transformation through relationships. So if there's a certain relationship that's happening for the Piscean in this story, this is what it's about. You're in this 8th house. You're having to have this transformation. It's like, it's getting of your own independence in a sense, and not depending on somebody else to take you from here to there, knowing that this is a part of the creation. This is a part of a beautiful outcome you can have at the end, but it's being able to face these extremes. I want a clarity card. A clarity card, because this has to do with how you're looking at the things that you've grown. What is the clarity card behind the death card here? Something else that we're not seeing. The Empress. The Empress in upright. Creativity, personal growth, and self-development. Success brings freedom, material comfort, security, and protection. Wealth may separate you from your roots and sense of self. You spend too much time indoors. Get out more. Sexual pleasure, fertility, excellent physical condition, and health. Loving relationship between mother and child. So, if we're able to have this transformation through this relationship here, however it applies, then we're going to go into this Empress upright. But it's saying is watch your step as you're doing it. Don't get big headed with some things. Don't sit here and try and flex the ego in a sense. This is not the time to have a because you have good sides of egos and then you have the negative side of ego. So this is a time to sit in the middle of it and just be humble and be like water, adapt to the different things. Fish are very adaptable. I feel like they're one of the most adaptable animals out there if you think about it. Think about how the different things that we put fish in. I'm not talking about when we cook, I'm talking about the different environments. So this is really asking right now in this divine timing for the Pisces to adapt. Adapt, 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 adapt. I'm hearing a clarity card for fruitation. Has to do with the beauty, it has to do with the conflict, but it's something that, and I'm here to say Pisces doesn't want to see. Six of Pentacles in upright. So you gain control over your financial life. It will become easier to meet payments. Concerns over your self-worth, success in business or sales, increase personal power at work. You develop an understanding of financial success and how to manage it. You must give to others in order to keep money flowing through your life. Yeah, stay humble in this. What's going to happen is when you stay in the middle of this, if you really want this transformation, you're going to gain a power up. That's that sense of humbleness. And it's like you're going to peak into a new level of life, a new shift in conscious. And that's what this new moon, full moon, second moon energy is about. And it's all being enhanced because literally the energies of the universe are taking the veil and they're pulling it back on everybody. And we're having to face some stuff. Do we want to confront what we always thought was back there? And if we don't want to confront it, then we're going to go into this reverse position here. You're not going to find the beauty in it. You're going to keep the conflict. And everything that is worked towards will still be very draining in a sense, or it will only be fulfilled to only so much. So the new moon in Libra scales, is saying we have too much stacked on one side. And I would say that's the cold side. That's the side that holds the resentments, the insecurities, the fears, all that stuff. Things that we harbor on, that we villainize ourselves of our past. Everybody makes mistakes. So the veil being pulled back is forcing us to take some of these coals and press them, feel that pressure of this lesson until it is transmutated, transformed into that diamond that we're looking for. And then with that diamond, this full moon in Aries, which is the egotistic Aries, we're going to call it, and it's going to be the child version. So when we reinvest it, that diamond is we're going to see this new outlook. This outlook where we don't have the past judgments as before. Again, because we're lifting or we're shifting our consciousness. For the people who can't do this, this is this is really going to weigh heavy on them. They're going to be more paranoid. They're going to be acting out. You're going to see random people who you probably haven't talked to in a while trying to start some stuff. And if this is going to where you're feeling irritable, this is again this shift starting to happen for Pisces. But again, due to all these energies, it's really feeling heavy. So just take your time with it. Right now, it's not getting a bunch of those coals and pressing them at once. Everything in life needs to be hit just one thing at a time. One thing at a time. So you get the fullness of it. You get the most out of it in this moment. Whatever it is that you need to observe, whatever it is that you need to learn, whatever it is that you need to maybe teach somebody else. What is it for the present? Anything else needs to come out. Well, this Empress wants to talk about these cups here. This Six of Cups, the peace. And this has to do with this star energy, but this star energy is in reverse. This Empress, because this does touch on this death, this transformation, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen for them. When they think about it at the root of themselves, they can't see the groundedness in it, the security, the vitality, the gain. This is what this Empress is saying. Anything else? It's hard to create movement. It's hard to be happy when everything I've stacked is upside down. They're too focused on everything that's flipping. That's what I'm getting. Even though we got the Sun card here, we got this Leo here, the Sun card energy. This is the soul of self. So the soul of self could be saying, I've been happy in this cycle, and what I'm hearing to say is this, like, when you've had a life that's had a lot of tests and trials in it, and you're just like, yep, it's just another day in this kind of show. I'm used to it. It's like the Eeyore sense, but we're a little bit optimistic about it, about everything always being drained out. Everything we stack always end up flipping on that other end. What else needs to come out? Anything else? You're confused on the choices that you have. That's what it is, because I have the Two of Pentacles. I'm not satisfied with this one just yet. What is the clarification card behind the Sun? I have the Two here that lands on the Star, the Six of Cups. Creativity or intellectual rut. Stagnation, movement in the wrong direction. Your need for human interaction creates problems. Trusting the wrong people. Talking too much. Feelings of loneliness. A good idea could involve you and others in a new project and a positive experience. Take a chance on a new adventure. I mean, Pisces, y'all, Y'all such a school of fish sometimes. Y'all just want to go with the flow, and sometimes no, you get caught up in the wrong flow. And I feel like there's a wrong flow that got caught up here. And this is why universal law is here. This is why Dharma is here. And it's dragging this out for the Pisces in this story. There's something that needs to be learned here. There's something that needs to be picked up. And it's so blocked because I can't even really pick it up right now. I'm getting a sense of what it is, but it's hard to pick it up. This block is, again, it's almost feeling like this is it. This is just the way it's always been since I've been younger. This is just something that comes with my core self. It's like the best example I can put is if somebody who has social anxiety and they don't really know what social anxiety is, like they can recognize the term, they can recognize what it's about, but they wouldn't know the extent of what it's like to go through it. So for themselves, they don't recognize it as they're having social anxiety. What they could recognize it as somehow it's their fault that they feel that way. So it goes along the lines of somebody saying, always believing that their life is always a certain way. It's just the way it's meant to be, kind of thing. It's just, it is what it is kind of attitude. All right, let's see. Clarification card. Because we have the Two of Pentacles that's confused. We have this that's confused. What else do we need a clarification card? Let's go for these cups, the Four of Cups. What is the clarification? Here we go. We're going to confirm it. We have the Hangman here in reverse. You are preoccupied with an internal battle. Inability to make a sense of problems due to, or inability to make sense of problems due to lack of insight. Pressure from society and others is overwhelming. Do not rely on logical solutions. The best solutions may be unorthodox. Your effort may your effort may be wasted on a project. May represent favorable legal decision. There you go. Um, so you have others here. And we know this is a transformation through a relationship. We know that there's some kind of attachment to these others having your back in a sense. But it's these others that are keeping you flipped on your head. And these others, they well disguise it, or you just recognize that this is kind of like the way it is. These others remind you of family members that you grew up with, and this is just kind of the traditions, the level of people you've always been surrounded by. Hmm. All right, so let's go into the block then. We have a hint of what's coming out. If there's one certain card that comes out, oh my goodness, then I'm going to scream and shout what it is. One certain card, because it will confirm it with these whole others. It's a few cards, but I'm one certain one for me. All right, to start off the block is the direction you've been going in is the direction that has you held up. I mean, if you got a cat that's biting at your ankle, aren't you going to stop to get it so that you can really choose the direction that you want to go in instead of always going off these cliffs for these others? All right, what else wants to come out for the block? Oh, man. Yeah, it is others. It is. So I have this Three of Pentacles, this contract, some about not wanting this contract to be through, but this is what it's meant to happen, getting out of the confusion, being able to let go and move on. we're not always supposed to keep the same people in our lives. We're not always supposed to keep the same career for our whole lifetime. We're not always meant to stay in one spot for all of our lifetime. What I'm getting is there's a Piscean that is thirsty. I get this water now. This Piscean's thirsty for a different pond to swim in, a different river to swim in, a different body of water to swim in. The same body of water, the same small pond. It's almost like a big fish in a little pond kind of thing. And I'm not going to say it as it's the one with the ego in a sense. It's just you're outgrowing this environment. That's what I'm getting. This environment has Pisces stuck. And the confusion again directly goes to these contracts, these others, how to get up and go on your own, seeing that new view, seeing that you can build a different way, seeing your true creativity. This is what this comes down to. Your creativity. When it comes to this transformation, there's something that's going to peak within you. And it's a giftly peak. This is going to be something that once you get stability, groundedness, security, and you start to feel the vitality of this new direction, getting unstuck from whatever these others are, it's going to bring new colors into your life in a sense. It's for air signs, I'm gonna say it's like a breath of fresh air. But for the Pisces, it would be to get to swim in a totally different body of water in a sense. A body of water that they have already been growing to, already been preparing themselves for. We don't know that a lot of the steps that we take, even in our past, are preparing us for our future. I'll overshare this one right here. So I'm a single mom. The kids have one dad. And there's a time that I really didn't want another baby daddy kind of thing because this one, he is his own person. He has his free will. It's what's best for him kind of thing. But all I knew is that I didn't want to repeat. And so I made sure to take steps in my life to where I didn't have another repeat. I don't want just a baby daddy. If I'm going to couple with somebody, if I'm going to bring kids into the world again, I want something that's more established, something that's more secure. And what I've done from now to then is made certain decisions in my life to make sure I don't gain another baby daddy because the person I'm looking for or I hope to meet will be level headed. So I must make level headed decisions myself. So, right here is you want something, you have to work for it, and you have to make decisions in the now to get to the things that you want to get to in, for your future self. Do things now. This is a beautiful quote. I love this quote. Do things now that your future self will thank you for. I am totally happy that I did not acknowledge a few guys back in the other state I lived in because each of those dudes, like a year later, after they were trying to present themselves, each had a kid. I'm not gonna lie. And I think about how I have teens now and how I would have a 3-year old running around. I think about how if I had that 3-year old running around, I wouldn't have gotten to where I'm at now. I would still be stuck at where I'm at. So make your choices wisely, really fill out what you want in life, and let's make some moves for your future self. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. And sometimes it takes certain relationships, certain people to come in and get us to a point where we're sick and tired, that we make moves to get unstuck. We make moves to make the choices that will get us where we want to be. What else needs to come out for the block? There's a direct fear of not having that fulfillment in the emotions. The direct fear is the confusion on how everything is always built to come out in conflict. What's interesting here is you have this King of Pentacles. What I'm hearing, it's almost like ran at somebody else's show. Somebody else is conducting, somebody else is having this say so. This is the only card that really comes in upright, besides this is the way things are built. Let's go ahead and ask directly the clarification card behind this King of Pentacles. Maybe this is something, because this Sun card also translates to child energy. So this could also go back to even childhood. Maybe there's a certain energy type in the household that was always more dominating. Maybe there's a certain stigma around who brings the bacon home, who provides this kind of thing. It's a certain thing that's revolved around uh, masculine energy and looking at masculine energy as this provider. All right. What else? Clarification, please. Hold on. Let's clear out that one. Looking for a clarification card for this King of Pentacles. What is the clarification card? So we have two cards, clarification. So it's like a left and right view. So the left and right view is, on one side, this King of Pentacles, an excellent time for work and an intellectual project. Oh, an excellent time for work and intellectual projects. A breakthrough is possible. Your life mission or career direction will become clear. The ability to preserve will be crucial during this period. Decisions should be guided by what is just, true, and honorable. Think of problems as opportunities for change. Some reason on one side we look at this person as really smart. We're looking at the masculine energy as they're the ones to be able to solve stuff intellectually. But at the same time, they're not very good at preserving stuff. They think of problems as opportunities for change. That can go one of two ways, though, depending on how a person uses it. So, another view into this masculine energy, and this comes at the drained out 10 of Cups, this fruitation that's not happening. And it's also something that keeps this Pisces uh, in the decision that they can't have their wish fulfillment, and also what holds up the transformation. And this is the Wands in reverse. Feelings of exhaustion, low energy, lethargy, lethargic, and mental dullness. You are over involved and need to choose between too many commitments, loss of enthusiasm and interest in the very things that have always made you happy. Material success doesn't make you happy. So what it's saying is, to switch this one into an upright, we got to take this this pedestal that we're putting this one on, because this one's actually wearing you out, even though we're looking like, oh, they're in the upright. This one's really not in the upright. This one's the one who's keeping cups drained. They're making you feel like what I'm hearing is like there hasn't been accomplishment. Like you're not coming in, you're not doing anything. And what I get is like it's a tactic of control. It's almost like, because what I get is a household setting. Like you have one who stays at home and you have the other who is extremely successful in their own way. So because they're so extremely successful, they are put on this pedestal when in reality that something else is happening. It's not coming out yet for in this block when it comes to this veil, because whatever they're doing, it's already been sowed. It's already been put in the ground, it's been grown, it's already came to a fruit, and it did not feed you. Did not make this Piscean feel protected. This is why there's a big sense of Piscean needs to take in their place of power. I say take in because they're not even standing in a place of power. Their place of power has been put as like extra bricks to this other one's pedestal. So it's to get to your independence, your place of power, you're gonna have to switch it. You got to be the smart guy now. You got to see yourself as the smart guy. You got to go off in a new endeavor in a sense. You can be here with this one, still dealing with this, but somehow you got to go off into this new thing because, again, you got to get unstuck. This other has you stuck. And then I had this other card I didn't even see here, which is the Ace of Swords, and it lands in reverse. This person, this energy, this source, want, they don't want something to come out from you, a new idea. There might be something Pisces has been working on, and it's almost to season. It's like if Pisces brings it in though, this is going to be something big. It might It's not sitting well if they've already brought it up. It's not sitting well, and the only reason why this has been rejected is because it's such a great idea. That's what I'm getting if this has to go for a business thing. If it's something else, this reminds me of the Family Guy episode where Peter was just treating Lois like, ugh. Just he was treating Lois so horrible, and it was a big insecurity. But the thing is, you can only put up with somebody's behavior and insecurities for so long. Um, you got to worry about you. You got to have your own back. You got to find what's going to bring balance to you. What is it that you need to make some movement towards? What is it that's going to start fulfilling you? I want a clarity card behind this Ace of Swords. Clarity card. What is the clarity card behind the Ace of Swords? Have a Seven of Swords energy and which way to go. And again, it has to do with these contracts. Fighting over profit, who gets credit on projects leads to failure. Watch out for someone who is envious. No one will compromise. Selfish and preoccupation with profit and personal achievement will prevail. Putting individual needs above those of the group dooms new projects, conflict at work or home. And we have this one that comes out confused. It's almost having this clarity, though, on where to go, how to go. But these thoughts are still so sharp, it's almost like you take yourself out. You take yourself out. So it was. Peter was very jealous of that. Lois was so much what he felt in his mind better than her, could get better, da 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 da, so that he was making it hard for her. You will have people who will act out in jealousy. And this is why I talk about this full moon in Aries, because, like I said, it's going to bring out one side or another when it comes to your interactions with people. You're going to notice either they're shifting, they're listening better, what they're saying, you're having better conversations, better connections, or you're going to notice that they're going to act out like a child throwing a fit. And this is what's happening behind closed doors. This energy, whoever you're dealing with, has such a big door that's so insulated that nobody knows that this is happening behind closed doors. What I feel like, if you were to go and talk to anybody about this, a mutual friend or something, they would look at you like you were crazy because they don't know what's happening. And you do have toxic relationships, whether home, work, wherever, where you can see what is that Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jackal kind of personalities with people. And I will say this, if there's any kind of abuse that's happening behind closed doors, you are more than welcome to seek out services, and that you do matter. You do matter, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, you do matter. How you feel is important. And never let anybody tell you that it isn't. There are beautiful stories out there all the time of different ways that you can reach out. Reach out, reach out, reach out, because if the people who you reach out to, if they really care, they're going to be there. If you can't reach out to people directly, you don't feel like they care, then reach out to somebody else. Hit up an organization. Walk up in the spot. Ask those questions. Get your answers, kind of thing. You're not alone. And there are plenty of people out there who want to validate you, validate that you are important, validate that love love does not have to be painful. It does not mean that there is pain behind the door when you close it. Just know that. I think this is why we have this transformation through relationships here with this death card, this emperor coming up in the upright, creating a new awareness about it, or having a birth of a new awareness. Then you have that Leo, I will. I will. All right. So what is it? Ancestors, angels, what is it that needs to come out for the conclusion? Perfection. So root chakra. One of the things that have caused insecurity around this, or even making a decision, is looking imperfect. Not having that outcome, maybe starting from the beginning again, but that's the same thing that's holding you back. That is the same thing that's holding back the creativity, that's sucking the energy out. The perfection is the imperfection. The perfection, I'll tell you what, Pisces, really think about it. When we sit in awe of people, it isn't when they've had just the best, easiest life ever. When we sit in awe of people, it's because we've watched a rebirth that's happened. We've watched somebody who's went through something that a lot of times we didn't even know they were going through. But then there's an extreme change with them. And then the rebuild after that. The story that you find out that caused that rebirth has you in awe of this person and the journey that they chose to make. So don't forget, some of the best stories are not written about people who had an easy life. It's written about people a lot of times who rose up and they conquered their fears and they went towards their purpose in life. That is perfection in imperfection. Oh man, this was mad. I've seen this when I was doing the shuffle. In order to get where you're going, is we have to release. We have to release. We have to move. We have to move forward from the depression that's holding us back, the feeling of lack of purpose. the confusion, the disconnection that we're having with ourselves. Getting help, talking to somebody. Remember, that's important, but that's what's going to help get you that voice. Find you your voice. That clear communication, that confidence in speaking, being able to creatively express where you want to go. What I feel is it's like you're going to be swimming within yourself. You're going to become that bowl of water for yourself when you need to take a dive, when you need to take a break. This is how expansive this is going to be for the Piscean frequency. What else needs to come out? This food, because this lands on this. Remember, we talked about this one? Having this one on a pedestal? No. No, they're at where they're at. They are who they are. There's not there's not the immovable energy, the all energy. Their pedestal is not as high as what it seems. It's even though you feel like you can't move past this, that you wouldn't find something else that you see as grand or as secure, it's actually there's something else on the other side. This is not a block that's a block that goes on forever. All right, and that is that sacral chakra. You might feel lack of creativity, emotional instability, social dysfunction, fear of change. On the other side of that is joy, passion, healthy relationships, and creativity. Once we get past seeing this person on that pedestal that's not even really there. And as we talk about getting past releasing and expansion is prayer. Is prayer. This is being felt within yourself, your solar plexus. So if you've been feeling like you've had low self-esteem, lack of control, insecurity, and you can't seem to get focused because there's so much procrastination, again, it's releasing this person off of that pedestal and moving past them. Letting go, taking yourself up out of this misery, out of what you always feel like is the rain, because it's not. Like I said, if you're feeling like you have no place of power, personal power, you really do. And this prayer comes out because it wants you to align with your guides again. So you can find prayer in so many different areas. I don't even want to say religions, but teachings as well. And one of the things that I liked, I was exploring some Native American stuff, and I actually practice this now, is they were saying come up with a protection prayer. If not, if you have a certain domination that you are very comfortable with, going and finding you a protection prayer from your own scriptures, your own writings, your own manuscripts that go along with your beliefs. And then you can write even a forgiveness prayer for whatever this is or how this plays into the past somehow. Uh, Also, you can write a personal prayer. So, three different prayers here. You have the protection prayer, you have a forgiveness prayer, and then you have a personal prayer. And the personal prayer I like because you can really ask for energies to come in and to basically be surrounded by love, light, and compassion. And it all depends on how you want to script that for yourself. You can get on YouTube and find different variables of how to do this, or maybe some ideas of personal prayers where you can find them and stuff like that. For myself, because I love literature and playing with words so much, I wrote my own. But I want to focus on the forgiveness prayer. That one's a very powerful one. It takes a lot of time to build up a lot of different emotions and a lot of different views. We don't realize it. It's like being good. You have to practice it. These views that we have, we've had to practice them for years. The traditions, we've had to practice them. And when we want to get away from certain traditions and go in a different way, that can be very hard. That can be very hard, pulling the veil from your eyes to see somebody who isn't really on this pedestal, who uh, how a community doesn't really help you. I mean, it's hard to make those choices. It's hard to pull the veil back. It really is. It's not easy work. Sometimes in these forgiveness prayers, making sure to put in the prayer that you forgive yourself of certain things that you felt. Like for me, the one that I was working with now is I ask myself for forgiveness for feeling like I took too long to figure out what needed to be done. And for myself, because I'm an air sign, sometimes when I feel like I've wasted too much time, I'm much more harder on myself. And I share this with you so that you're able to translate this into how or what would fit better for you when you're coming up with, say, a forgiveness prayer. So the power of prayer is very, very powerful. Again, you find it in so many different areas. I believe when we do manifestations that that is a type of prayer. I don't do witch stuff. I don't do hoodoo or spell work, but I do think that the things that they write down and how they say it is a type of prayer as well. But what makes the power of the prayer, of the manifestations, the spell, whatever you want to call it, is the focus, is the intent, is the emotions that are tied to it as well. So keep that in mind when you're going into it. If you're trying to go into your prayers and you're agitated, go ahead and journal for a little bit so you're more grounded when you go into your prayers. You don't want your prayers to seem like they're frustrations. You want your prayers to be something as healing energy. And you can put that intentions behind it. Don't get upset with yourself if you don't do your prayers every day. Just congratulate yourselves for recognizing it and doing it, getting it done. Oops, I made a mistake. Oops, I forgot. Oh, let me go ahead and get that done. Real simple, right? And if we're blessed with waking up another day, then that's a chance to try again. Don't forget that. I'm hearing one more card. I'm hearing and seeing one more card. What is the last card for the Piscean community? Y'all get 3 cards. So the facade. What is the facade? What is the joy that you can find when you take yourself and you walk hand in hand? Walk hand in hand impartially to the pain. I see pain, and there's ain't and pain. Impartial to the lessons, impartial to being able to rebalance again, impartial to holding on to stuff that is too heavy on one side, and bringing that optimism of being able to rebalance it, hearing those divine message, unity in the consciousness, inner wisdom, spiritual connection, and being able to feel your power of enlightenment, being able to see that miracles are possible. Miracles are possible, and you are allowed to shine as bright as you want to. I feel like naturally Pisceans hold themselves back a little bit. They hold themselves back, and it's because of the groups that they surround themselves with. They can operate and flow within social dynamics very well. I will say that Pisces can do it. They can navigate their dynamics of social interactions, very well. They can put up whatever, not put up, how do I put it? It's like a sense you can adapt to the different social settings that you're in when you want to. Don't force the Pisces to do what they don't want to do. But the whole thing is you're adapting to others. What is it that you need to do for yourself? So it isn't a mere adaptation, it's just a mere you're flowing with whatever comes your way. Instead of having to say, make sure that you prepare for your day, you make your list, and then something goes awry and then the plans crumble. It's being able to adapt to the new plan, the new flow, that everything's not going to get accomplished at that one time. And you know what? There's a new bill that's coming in that shouldn't come in, and that there was a mistake made, but somehow there's a big bill. Instead of freaking out and then trying to call in and freaking out because the phone's being weird, you can't press the numbers or it's not reading, you've had to call in X amount of times. It's being able to flow with it. Okay, well, obviously, I'm not getting this task done. I'm stuck on this phone. Let me go get me a little snack. Let me do something else that was on this list while I multitask this. Or let me put my feet up and, like I mentioned before, deal with one thing at a time. That could be it. One thing at a time. All right, Piscean community. If I go on anymore, I'm just going to be rambling and rambling out. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for sharing your energy. And I hope you enjoyed this story. And I hope. Wait. Ah, I forgot. One more. One more. To confirm everything was the White Light Oracle. Not getting away. I seen it's 1 hour. I didn't want it to be a whole hour. I wanted to do it less, but the universe says we're on Dharma's. We're on Dharma's timeline. Take our time. So, what is the final confirmation message for the Piscean energy? What is the final confirming message to the Piscean energy? Patience, 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 patience. The biggest thing here is actually one of the biggest superpowers, honestly, is patience. Because everything is so instantaneous now. We can place an order somewhere and go pick it up or even have it delivered. We can buy stuff in the middle of the night when we weren't able to do that before. We can pay bills at 10 o'clock at night when that was never possible before, unless you were sending a check off in the mail. But a lot of things we used to have to wait for. So we have 38, Darva Patra. So that's going to be number 11. Things are manifesting quickly. Sign of opportunity is opening up for you. Now let's go ahead and check out what the literature is on. Did I say that right? Varia. Davaria. Okay, Davari Patra. My bad. Davaria Patra. All right, 38. Thank you for your patience. 38. Davaria Patra. Out of confusion, a clear and progressive pathway is opening up for you. It is an auspicious time to give generously of yourself to others, enriching the quality of your connections, expressing spiritual blessings of goodwill and encouragement from your heart. A powerful blessing is entering your world. A prayer is now being answered in a beautiful way. Spirit gives freely and generously of all good things, and the task of humanity is to learn how to receive. The key to receiving is an open, surrender, generous, and trusting heart. It wants you to surround yourself. The bigger message here is to surround yourself with the crowd you wish to be around. If this is for somebody that's wanting to change their ways, it could be not so much club and going to a church, not so much nightlife versus going and doing something holistic for yourself. It's changing up. So letting go of what was to open up to something new. So what it wants you to see is that who you can surround yourself with, who you do surround yourself with, is gonna, in a way, feed whatever you're working towards. Because remember, we can call certain people when we need certain advice. When we want somebody to agree with us, when we have a certain opinion, we know who to call. When we want something else kind of given to us, the harsh truth, whatever, we also know who to call. Ghostbusters! Yeah, so if there was a fear, because there was didn't it say something about loneliness in one of these ones? Um, so if there's a fear of loneliness when you let go of these people, whatever, because remember we have solution may be unorthodox, is don't worry about it. Do not worry about it because there is somebody else, there's other group here, other supports here that will have the better interest. And the better interest is not going to say always take care of things for you in a sense. This better interest is not, the better way to say it is not always going to want to give you a fish. This better interest is going to teach you how to fish, so to say. So, all right, that was the final message. This is getting concluded. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, 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 wonderful rest of your day.